Back to training videos, we'll get back to training videos. Once again, I'm going to be redundant. We are going to talk about the Erector Spinea and the Erector Spinea muscle groups, the intercostalis, the longissimus, and the spinalis groups. These are very important muscle groups, especially if you have any wish and or desire to ever stand or have any form of posture ever again for the rest of your fucking life. Now, what do you think they do? And I'm speaking about muscle actions, and there's three different. You have concentric actions, which shorten muscles, eccentric actions that lengthen muscles, and isometric contractions that remain the same. This rule applies to all muscles. There are 650 major muscles in the body and 187 joints. But because the body is not quite that simple, and you equate muscles in the cardiac region and also the digestive tract, your major organs, that amps the number up to 840 muscles in the human body. Standing frame is a fucking awesome piece of equipment when you're dealing with back extensors. Holy shit. Which are basically your fucking Erector Spinea. In this video I'm going to go over using the medicine ball again. Now listen, when I make an improvement, where I come up with a new piece of equipment that you can make on your own, because if I could do it, you can do it. Okay? Sort of like this. The strap. We're going to be doing strap training with the medicine ball today. I made this, you made this. It's a fucking $5 strap from a place called Strapworks. Alright? It's not that fucking difficult. I made it, you can make it. Once again, I try not to be redundant, and here I am being redundant, which makes me a fucking hypocrite. That's it. Ultimately, you are the person that is solely responsible for the amount of ability you get back. And it basically pertains to how much work you want to put into it. If you do not wish to put in any work, okay, then in turn you will get no ability back. Therefore, when you have no ability, and you're wondering why you have no ability, it's because you didn't do the fucking work, and you are solely to blame. Even with the injury. Fucking A. I accept full responsibility for my injury. Nobody fucking did anything for me. And even those who think that, they're 100%, not responsible for where they are, and they had their neck broken or something like that, somewhere along the lines, you somehow put yourself in a situation which is really not that fucking great, and it's really not that cool, and some of it's extremely tragic. But as soon as you accept some responsibility and accountability for most anything and everything that you're involved in, trust me, you'll be so much clearer up here. Now listen, I'm not going through 1,000 exercises today. We're going to talk about some extensor exercises. We're talking about, like I said before, if you want to check out some other shit, go check out some other shit. Superman is pretty sweet. And some other shit, using the frame and everything else. We talk about all these shit. However, at this point in time, the priorities that you have, if your priority is to take back ability and you are training, okay, and you're going through the motions and you're just dicking around a little bit and you're sort of showing up and not really putting forth a fucking Herculean effort, you might as well just stop fucking around, because if you're not going to do the work, then you're not going to fucking get the results. That's all there fucking is to it. It's not a fucking huge fucking, you don't got to be a fucking brainiac to figure that shit out. You know as well as I do. If you don't study for the test, you ain't passing the motherfucker. Unless, of course, you're one of those fucking freakazoid Einstein fucking mongoloids that fucking just knows that shit. You know? Stephen Hawking is the guy that used to show up for tests and just pass it only because he was a goddamn double super genius. You ain't. Because I ain't. And trust me, you know, considering there's like a fistful of people in the entire history of the world that fucking possess that type of fucking retarded fucking intelligence, alright? That means the rest of us are just fucking walking around dolts. But there's no reason in the world that you can't try to fucking educate yourself on what you're doing. Alright? Just so you know, your ability and everything that you're involved in as far as spinal cord injury and shit concerns, as far as what you're involved in, what you do and everything else directly is incorporated and is reflected in your ability and your fucking state of fucking consciousness, your fucking quality of life, and everything around you that you personally deal with every day. Set your priorities right. Right now it's fucking Sunday afternoon. You know what I've decided? I've said my prayers, I've done what I've had to do and shit like that. Now I think I deserve myself to go get myself a fucking beer. That's my priority. You set your own shit where you want.
Cardio core extensions. Pressing extensions.
Our explanation for exercise number 1. Pay attention, I'm not doing this fucking 26 times. We're holding the medicine ball and pivoting our core back and forth. At the same time, we're holding the ball roughly about chest height. And you'll notice as we go, we extend the ball out, which is putting direct freaking pressure on the Erector Spinea. You're pushing it out until you get to the point. That's where the strap comes in, so you don't end up with your fucking face in your lap. Exercise 2 is rather reminiscent of exercise 1, except there's a difference. We are doing a press with the ball. Not a big deal, but you're holding that ball, squashing it tight, and then you're extending it out, right up to the point of failure. And you pull it back in using the extensors, your back extensors, your Erector Spinea. Extend it out, pull it back in. Hold it up, extend it out, pull it back in. Self-explanatory, just look at it. Now we're going to get into more extensions, different varieties. This example, you're going to see a simple, like almost a Superman move. However you do this, simply if you can't get your chest off the ground, but you can just extend your head, your arms out, or simply raise your head. You will get the benefit. And here you're going to see just the arm raise, just pressing yourself up from a flat position to your forearms. Getting up just that little bit, raising that head, and then extending the arms and pushing the body up. You're going to get that stretch that you need. Right here, this is a different example of the same thing. Hold up. Notice the position of the head. Straight up. All right. You're stretching a lot of the front, all your front extensor muscles, everything else. Very beneficial, all the while working the arms. Right here, you're going to see inflection. That happens when you're in your wheelchair. You see extension. That's when you're out of the wheelchair. That's where you're stretching those valuable muscles. You have this is a situation, knee rolls. Lay on your back with your arms out, knees up. Left, right, left, right. Very important. I am not looking to overwhelm you. I am not looking to intimidate you. I'm not setting you up for failure. Well, I am setting you up for failure because failure is what you're shooting for. Because in order to fail, you have to have put forth effort. So if you put forth effort, and you put forth enough effort, and you exert yourself, and you do the best you can, the best thing you could hope for is failure. This way you can try to overcome your failure. Failure is your friend. It's that fucking friend who's always breaking your fucking balls and telling you to do shit and fucking around and seeing stuff and for some unknown reason this motherfucker is always right. You hate his fucking guts, but you just love him to death. It happens all the time. You have to try in order to fail. And if you try really hard, your failures will become huge, which will be great. It's just that it's very discouraging. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about failure. It's going to happen. You're going to fail, succeed. That is spinal cord injury, ability recovery 101. Go get failing.